Did you catch this? Ryan Reeves, dude, activated from IR. So he missed 18 games, lower body injury. Do you know what the record was without Ryan Reeves?
No, what was it?
8-8-2, so 500, and that's the big reason why. But he returned to practice, mind you, as a full participant on January 2nd. You think this story got bigger than they anticipated?
Yeah, probably. Like, was he not even practicing with the team?
I think bits and pieces. He was technically like injured, but he cleared himself or was cleared like the beginning of the month, man. We're talking 22 days ago.
Like, when you're a healthy scratch like that, and let's be honest, I don't see any game in the past 15 games where I think Reeves would have gotten into the lineup. The writing was starting to be on the wall before he had that injury. But when you are a healthy scratch, it doesn't really matter if you're on the IR or not. You're not on a line in practice, right? You're on the extra line. You stick around after and skate to get your reps in because you're not getting your game day conditioning. And the same thing would happen as a scratch as it kind of would as a guy that's semi injured but still able to skate. So I think that's why it was like they didn't do anything with him. He's the last thing on their mind right now. And whether this formality of him being activated or not is taking place or not is kind of irrelevant. And it was probably just easier just to leave him on and continue on until something changed. Until he says something in the media, now people are talking about, oh shit, okay, yeah, activate him. Now he's activated. Like it's nothing. It means nothing. It's just it doesn't mean anything. So he's still going to play on the non-line, on the fifth line. He's going to be a healthy scratch in my mind, except for maybe tonight with Bertuzzi being gone and the body
playing.
situation. But yeah, he's not playing. So it's just, it doesn't matter to me. I don't see a reason why you'd take any of those players out that we mentioned to put in Reeves. When they signed him, a part of me was like, oh, cool, because it's a throwback. Same. It's, nostalgia wise, I feel like, oh, good. It's nice to know, that the league still has a little bit of that in it. But at the end of the day, he can't produce anything, including fighting, right? To justify being in the lineup. I mean, back when I was playing, I was in and out of the lineup, and their team had two heavyweights on it, and like it was, you had to protect your players and you had to make sure they didn't run the gamut. But like, Winnipeg's not going to come in here and beat the shit out of them and bully them and get in the goalies' faces and run the stars and blah, blah, blah. And you need a guy like that. So you don't need Ryan Reeves. So why would you put him in there? He's not going to skate. He's not going to be offensive. He's going to be a defensive liability. That's just the reality of this season for him. And I know he's not happy about it, but man, I had to come to the terms with that 12 years ago. And Ryan Reeves is still in the NHL on a 3-year deal. He should be goddamn thanking his lucky stars. And he could keep up in the league and has been part of good teams, but I think that's slowly passing him by. In this contract, I'm sorry, it's not going to go down well. I think his days are very numbered playing in a Toronto Maple Leaf uniform, and I probably could have told you that in September.
Yeah, I'm waving the white flag. Like, I'm not going that route. I got to stand by the fact that I like the signing. It just hasn't worked out. I mean, reading the tea leaves, Rosie, Sheldon Keefe doesn't want him there, man. If Sheldon Keefe wanted him there, he'd be horny, chomping at the bit to activate this guy. And the fact that 22 days after this guy was a full participant at practice, he's finally been activated tells you all you need to know. I think this guy's destined for the AHL. And when and if that happens, it means they'll get $1.15 million in cap space. And I think a decision has to be made. Like, they got to make a roster move. To the best of my knowledge, is what I understand. They need to make a roster move once Bertuzzi is back, right? He'll be restored to the 23-man roster. So they'll have to make a move. And, reading some stuff on social media, they can send one of their 3 waiver exempt forwards down, like Nyes, Robertson, Holmberg. But all 3 guys are like mainstays in the roster right now. I don't see why you would do that. Of course, there's always the, Ilya Samsonov situation. Let's say he gets lit up. Maybe he's another guy who can go down because he cleared waivers. But to me, all signs point to Ryan Reeves being a member of the Toronto Marlies and say, I'll give it 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like, it's unfortunate, man. I think this guy's got a great personality. We've talked to him a bit off air. Great dude. You could tell his teammates love him, but there's no fit for this guy on the roster. It was a colossal mistake, and it's the second biggest one because the John Klingberg one was the biggest one.
Yeah, they didn't work out too well, did they?
No.
I think they liked the idea of I mean, when Tree Living said he's going to go out and get some guys, I wanted him to go out and get, some power forwards, some rugged, tough defensemen. I mean, we have our offense covered. Obviously, we have $50 million tied up in these offensive guys. So what does that leave you with? It leaves you with holes on your defensive side of things. So if you can get some rugged guys that are tough to play against, that think defense first, that's what we need. And you go get a John Klingberg, who's a struggling offensive defenseman for 4.5 sheets or whatever. It's like, well, like, guys, we want to keep the puck out of our net. We want to be more well-rounded. We're top heavy on the offensive side of the puck. So it was kind of frustrating to see that. And, you want to do some guys with some jam who can, drop the mitts if need be, but just be in guys' faces, protect your teammates, understand that role where, Ryan Reeves is pretty one-dimensional in that fact. And, the one thing that could save him is being very, very well liked in that locker room, being a glue guy, keeping the culture and the mentality and the attitude and the atmosphere, rate high on the list. And whether he's doing that or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, when you crunch the numbers like you did to start this segment, it looks like all signs are pointing to him probably going down for probably a substantial stint with the Marlies.
Oh, no, it's not going to be a stint. You're done. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews. We got clips. We got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.